The boundary, where space begins, is often referred to as the Kármán line. It is conventionally set at an altitude of 100 kilometers 62 miles above Earth sea level. This demarcation is named after Theodor von Kármán, a Hungarian-American engineer and physicist who calculated that around this altitude, the atmosphere becomes too thin to support aeronautical flight, as an aircraft would need to travel faster than orbital velocity to generate sufficient lift from the air. Key points about the Kármán line: definition and altitude. The Kármán line is defined at 100 kilometers 62 miles above sea level. It marks the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. Legal and scientific importance. The Kármán line is recognized by several international organizations, including the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale (FAI), for defining the edge of space. This is important for space law and the delimitation of airspace and outer space. Practical implications. For practical purposes, crossing the Kármán line signifies that a spacecraft or astronaut has entered outer space. Achievements, such as the first human spaceflight by Yuri Gagarin and suborbital flights by commercial companies like Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic, are measured against this boundary. Different perspectives. While the Kármán line at 100 kilometers is widely accepted, there are alternative definitions and views. United States definition. NASA and the U.S. Air Force have used 80 kilometers 50 miles as the boundary of space, where astronauts who cross this altitude are awarded astronaut wings. Gradual transition. Some scientists argue that there is no abrupt boundary where space begins. Instead, they view it as a gradual thinning of the atmosphere, with space starting at various altitudes depending on the criteria used. For example, where atmospheric pressure becomes negligible. Why it matters. Understanding where space begins is crucial for space exploration. Defining the boundary helps in the regulation and planning of space missions. Legal framework. It aids in the formulation of international space law, addressing issues like the ownership and use of space resources. Technological development. Helps engineers design spacecraft that can operate efficiently in different atmospheric conditions. For your YouTube channel, Wonder World, explaining these aspects with visuals and examples of historical spaceflights could make the topic engaging and informative for your audience. For